Okay, welcome everybody. As people are signing in, I am John Lee Evans. I am the chair of the board of directors of the National Peace Corps Association. And before we get started, we'll take a moment here to look at the agenda for today. If we could see that slide, we're going to start off with our business during the first 45 minutes, and we're going to hear after that, we're going to hear a panel, as you can see on the slide. And following that, we will have a panel discussion, and we're going to then after that be able to end with the affiliate group network. So we hope that you can stay tuned for all of that today, for all of you who are signing in. I'm just going to let you know also that the chat function is operating. It was very successful last night. It's an opportunity to make comments, suggestions, ask questions. Of course, it's a large group and we can't respond to all of them, but all of this is being recorded and transcribed. So we'll be able to look at this and see what people are saying in terms of both comments, praise, constructive criticism, all in the Peace Corps spirit. So if we can move now on the slides to our minutes and bylaws, I'd like to officially call to order the 2023 Annual General Membership Meeting of the National Peace Corps Association. And our first two items of business are the approval of the 2022 minutes and the approval of the bylaw modifications, which you should have been able to see prior to the meeting, and you can also see in the chat and elsewhere. You can look these over so that you can vote on them today. First of all, on the approval of the minutes, we have a motion by Secretary of the Board, Carla Brown, to approve, and seconded by Christina Owens, another board member. And then on the other item, which is the bylaws, which is some minor changes, some clarifications in the language, some things such as allowing us to fill vacancies on the board when they occur mid-year and so forth. You can look those over. And that has been moved by the board governance chair, Christina Owens, and seconded by Carla Brown. So we will be tallying that during the meeting. So please pay attention to that. And on NPCA, this time last year, we faced many challenges and we pushed the reset button. This is my first year on the board, first year as a board chair. The majority of the members of our board are new members. We've had a steep learning curve, but it's been an amazing board, very collaborative, and also collaborating with the staff. So I'm happy to report the National Peace Corps Association is stabilized, revitalized, and moving forward. We're adapting to a new world, just as the Peace Corps adapts to a changing world. Excuse me. And last night, we heard comments from Peace Corps Director Carol Spahn and our lone RPCV Congressperson, John Garamendi. And both of them mentioned the role of Peace Corps in the climate crisis. And just like COVID, the climate crisis is an issue that knows no national borders and is really emblematic of the interdependent world that we live in now compared to the time of the founding of the Peace Corps in the 1960s. Director Spahn also pointed out the high demand from many countries across the world are requesting either more Peace Corps volunteers or to bring the Peace Corps into their country. And Congressman Garamendi even mentioned that one of the military leaders he talked to as the chair of the Armed Services Committee, that was saying that we needed the Peace Corps in certain countries so that the military would not need to go in. And looking at the Department of Defense budget, I said to Congressman Garamendi that my goal would be for the Peace Corps budget to be 0.1% of the Department of Defense budget, which would actually double our budget, and we could actually meet some of the demands that Director Spahn was talking about. Now, one of the things that NPCA does very well is connect RPCVs with each other and harnessing that tremendous power, both through local affiliate groups, through the affiliate group network, various cause groups, and also we're going to hear some exciting news today about opportunities for coordinating continuation of service. Another important part of NPCA has been advocacy, and we're going to hear a lot about that today. We realize that from year to year, nothing is guaranteed from one administration to the next. We always have to be in the forefront. We've had a very grassroots support in that area, and we'll hear more about that. I was very excited when we met in person in March for the first time since the pandemic. And hopefully next year we will have a Peace Corps Connect conference next summer where we can be in person and actually get to meet each other again, as I say, in person. So now I'd just like to turn the attention to the current board. Of course, as I said, this board faced certain challenges. And one of the challenges was certainly in the area of finance. And we decided to become very clear, be very transparent with our donors and with our members, the state of our finances, which included last year reporting on some of the huge deficits that we were experiencing, and also this year being transparent about how that has been significantly turned around. And that's, again, in large part to the work of the board and the staff. Just for example, at the end of the year, when we were very much in the hole, we had an all hands on deck approach by the board to really do some fundraising. We set a goal for that final period of 300,000. We met it, and that allowed us to actually start the year with a leaner but a balanced budget. And you'll hear more about that later, the fact that we set an ambitious goal of $1 million this year for our fundraising efforts. Another area that this board has been working on is in terms of a governance reform. And you'll see, I mean, obviously one of the things is the bylaws modifications, but one of the big changes is at-large elections. Previously, it was divided up into geographic regions of the US and then regions of the world. And a person had to fit in a particular category in a particular year when there was a vacancy. This year, we opened it up at large, and we were able to recruit a much better and larger pool of candidates, looking at the skills we need on the board, ranging from fundraising to governance, finance, legal, communications, all of this. And so that's what we're able to do with these at-large elections. And as you can see here, these are the new board members, which will be coming on board and seated at our next quarterly meeting later this month. And we have a diverse group of people coming onto the board. And one of the changes we made this year is we had a task force for diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that's been made a permanent committee of NPCA, of our board. And you can see right here on this slide some of the diversity. You know, for example, over half of our board has served in the Peace Corps since the year 2000. You can see that the BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, people of color, we had 6, a couple of LGBTQ plus community. You can see the balance between gender. And also, even though we didn't have the geographic regions, you can see that we actually ended up with a board that represents all areas of the country. So we'll be hearing more about that later. But just in conclusion, thank you for that slide. I just want to say that the state of NPCA is strong. We are united, we are diverse, we are constantly adapting to a changing world with true Peace Corps resilience and dedication to mission.